Hey there, Bracy here. Welcome to the next vlog. So today I was really interested in talking about where we are as just a human race. What we're on the verge of creating for ourselves. Where we're at, kind of giving a little, I don't know, a little perspective of our current situation. So, obviously, there's a lot of us. I think there's close to, if not over 8 billion of us now on the planet. We all range from different cultures, different socioeconomic capabilities, completely different perspectives on life, what's right, wrong. And I just wanted to, I gotta close the door just in case there's a lot of noise out there. All right, so I thought it was interesting because I'm always looking at new technology, what's happening, and if you've been paying attention to the news or just your social circles, you've probably seen a lot about AI by this point. And if you haven't, I'm sure you've seen things like Snapchat or Instagram filters, things that track your face. Apple has apps that do this where things track your face and apply elements onto your face, different filters, different modifications, things that require understanding what your face looks like and quickly adapting. This is all based on machine learning algorithms that are able to learn, essentially. They're built on neural networks that were designed to make associations, build concepts from those associations, and build on those concepts, very much like our brains are doing. So the synapses that these neural networks have aren't as grand as what we have yet, but they're working towards it, and ultimately they're dealing with simple concepts right now. Well, simple relatively to the complex concepts that we're dealing with, that our body puts together. Like we're able to walk outside and associate all the colors and all the sounds and all the smells with everything that has ever happened in our life that has been tied to those moments. So that's a lot of synapses. That's a lot of connections, neural connections. But anyway, I digress. So AI, it's gotten to this point where it can automate a lot of things that we do now. It can automate a lot of ways that we communicate, but it can also automate a lot of things that we do for work. A lot of our value is tied up into a lot of these things that are now being done by AI. And I thought it was kind of fascinating that we're getting to this point where, yes, it is the in the top 1% that has access to some of this stuff now, but that's increasing. But like, we've gotten to a point that humans have created the functions that can make them do basically nothing. Like, not just the financial infrastructure that allows people to do nothing, but like the technological infrastructure that can allow a human being to literally do nothing. Like, it won't have to worry about growing or making its food. It won't have to worry about moving itself around. It won't have to worry about entertainment, because like all these things can now come to it or move a human to where these things are automatically. Like, the technology now exists for that to happen. And whether you think that's right or wrong, I don't think is really the point. It's that we're moving in that direction. Also, whether you think somebody is going to choose to do that or not is kind of irrelevant as well, because given a wide enough sample, someone's going to choose, and ultimately, if somebody has something that others don't and they see value in it, then ultimately it creates a vacuum and it pulls people towards that thing. But this to contrast with the fact that how many people do we have suffering on this planet? Like the idea that we haven't been able to pump the brakes on progress just to bring up the people to just some level above drowning, just some level above a consistent decline of their life, or putting people in conditions in which they're more likely to commit crime, more likely to hurt somebody else, and more likely to hurt themselves. Like, it's conditions that help push people beyond the point of humanity. And the idea that on the other side, like, we're getting to the point, we've gotten, as an entity, as the human entity, we've gotten to a point where some of us could, within the next 20 years, not ever have to work or see a human being, and no human being will be directly involved with making that person's life, helping that person live, and they could be taken care of. The idea that we've gotten to the point where food can be made automatically and we still have people starving. This is weird. This is a weird time in human history. Like, it's so, I mean, obviously we've gotten to a similar point before, as I was saying. Like, financially, we've already created the infrastructure where people don't ever have to work. And we can contrast that with, obviously, most people in the world they still have to work. But I think the issue is the perspective of what work means, what it means to our identity, who we are, and what AI coming in and taking away this sense of identity from us is going to do. A lot of people have talked about universal basic income. I think that's going to be definitely a necessity going forward. That's going to have to be something involved in where people they should just be given the resource to live. But we also have to think about the people who aren't necessarily in a society that will give them that basic income for being lucky enough to be born in that space. Like, I think we're just at that point. It's time to choose what's more important, a human being or money. Like, what's more important at this point? What's more important in general, the well-being of our planet or the well-being of our bank account? Like, we're past the point of being able to make an argument about necessity. We're way past that point. And we've been past that point for a while for a fair amount of people, but that fair amount of people, obviously they controlled a lot of the way systems were structured and the way things that worked, that there's no way that they're going to make altruistic choices to benefit other people that they don't know, and frankly that might hurt them, as opposed to making choices for their own benefit. But we're at that point where now it's us making the choice. Case in point, Burger King, as of yesterday, just released the Impossible Burger at all their Burger King locations. If you don't know the Impossible Burger, and this is Impossible Burger 2.0, it is a fabricated meat from plant proteins that was engineered to taste exactly like meat. At least well enough that I would argue over 50% of people who would eat at Burger King would not be able to tell the difference. So are we at a point that now that we can do it, we can say, no, this is good enough? Is it good enough? I mean, aren't we at a point that we should be like, well, maybe that extra 20% of getting towards the taste of beef, maybe it's time to let say we're good enough. Let's stop the crazy amount of slaughter of the animals and creating the greenhouse gases because of that industry, and maybe it's time to let go of that whole meat industry when we have something that's arguably good enough. At what point do we say, oh, we're doing more damage just for our comforts? It's I don't know. It's a little frustrating just because you can see this trend isn't going to stop. AI is going to continuously make things, understand concepts, broader concepts, whittle them down to actionable items, and allow us to manipulate things that were usually out of our hands. Usually, it would take somebody very skilled, an artist, to make a painting. But now an AI can take all this information, distill it down, and make something that looks as good as the best painters in whatever style you want. And that's a huge flip. This is a huge paradigm shift as to what's possible, what this means for the world, and what we're going to do about it. So yeah, I guess my question to you is, what do you think we should do about it? I have my opinions, and I'll share those maybe in a different video, but what do you think we should do about it? Leave comments if you happen to watch this and your name is not Bracy. Cheers, thanks for watching.